Hey, welcome. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I have a question on a regular basis. People are always asking, where do I start? Especially in this the kingdom pursuit thing. As you're learning about scripture and you're learning about the king, people are asking me all the time, where do I begin? And so I want to address that. I want to actually have a historical record so that when people ask me, which they do regularly, I can actually point them to the place. And so, where do you first start in the pursuit of Scripture? I always point people to the same place, as you can see here, Matthew 3 through 7 and John 14 through 17. It's the beginning point of Scripture. Jesus' first sermon and his last sermon. If you just read those things on a regular basis. Now, the important thing here, you got to read this thing from a non-church perspective. You got to read it from the Hebrew perspective. He was a Hebrew. He was a Jew, and he came from 4,000 years of biblical foundation. And if we read it from a church perspective, if we read it from a Baptist, Pentecostal, Catholic, Methodist, Presbyterian version, you're going to miss almost everything he said. So try and take that out of context and put it into the context of what he was trying to say. And I'm going to give you a short list here of some reading stuff. Here's I went through my library today, and I pulled out some books that probably really good start for you guys. Of course, I would recommend this book by a guy named Bill Ebert called The Power of an Endless Life. And you can either order the book from me for $10 or you can download it for free, powerofanendlesslife.com. It's a free PDF version. My second most recommended book is Secret of the Stairs by Wade Taylor. Amazing human being. And if you really like his stuff, his second book is almost as good as his first book, Waterspouts of Glory by Wade Taylor. Really good book. And then one of my favorite books ever is A Tale of Three Kings by Gene Edwards, a story about brokenness. For those of you who are super heady, philosophical, intellectual, brainiac crowd, this is a really good book, Orphean Passages by Walter Wangerin. Amazing book. I've had this next to my bed for 12 years. It sits on my nightstand eternally. This is one of the deepest, intensely written books I've ever read in my whole life. It might be too deep for most people. It might be too heady. You probably wouldn't want to start there. But once you get a little foundation and found this life of abandon and surrender, you might want to read some of his stuff. This is an amazing testimony, a guy called The Heavenly Man. It is Christian Brother Juan is in the story called The Heavenly Man. Amazing book. Here's something for people who need something about, once you get into the beginning phases, foundational revelation and truth. Two Trees in the Garden. Rick Joyner wrote this book. It was in the top selling books for 6 years. It was in the top 10 when he first wrote it. Amazing book. Super simple, easy to read. Rick Joyner is a tremendous author. Really like this book. It's a really good book. Something for those of you who like the When Heaven Invades Earth by Bill Johnson. Also, really good book. It was really hard to keep it down to just 10 books, but those would be my top 10. And then, of course, if you want more testimony stuff, if you really like the one, the Heavenly Man, then this is a classic, Watchman Nee, The Normal Christian Life. So there's the beginning. There's your verses to start with, your books of study. If you're hungry, you want more information, you want to be around people of like faith, connect with us on our website. powerofanendlesslife.com is where you can find regular posts on the Facebook site. And then billebert.com/disciple. You can get regular blog posts and regular trainings and all kinds of connection with other people. So see you guys. See you on the other side.